coming up is Winston-Salem Fashion Week. It starts next Monday, and there's a lot to look forward to this year.
One thing in particular is the Camel City Couture fashion exhibit that is curated by MUSE Winston-Salem.
And earlier this morning, we spoke with the executive director to learn more about the story of Winston-Salem they hope to tell through Camel City Couture. Take a look.
And joining us this morning is Mike Wakeford, the executive director of MUSE Winston-Salem. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us. So for our new viewers, can you share what MUSE is and what you all do?
Sure. MUSE Winston-Salem is a community history museum. Some viewers may know us by our former name, New Winston Museum. We've been around for about 11 years now, but we just before the pandemic, we moved to a new building at 226 South Liberty Street. We're operating there and regularly do programs and pop-up exhibits like the one I'm going to talk about today, but we're not actually open as a brick and mortar museum yet, but check back in a year and a half to 2 years, and we will be a community history museum that tells an inclusive narrative of this community's history.
They certainly will do that.
Yeah, definitely will. And you talked about, Mike, the new exhibit that's debuting during Winston-Salem Fashion Week. Talk about that.
Yeah, we're really excited about this partnership with Fashion Week. Our pop-up exhibit is called Camel City Couture, threading our way through Winston-Salem fashion history, and it's an awesome exhibit that features a really eclectic set of figures from throughout Winston-Salem history that are in one way or the other connected to the history of fashion in this city.
Mike, how did you find these artifacts? What was the curation process like?
Yeah, well, most of our research involved digging back into old newspapers and looking for anything that had words like fashion or style or models or designers, and then seeing what were the best stories that we could find from the past century and a half in the city's history, and then from there we would dig further using whatever research tools we could. And we also did a lot of our research by just talking to people, talking to folks who have a kind of long view of style and shopping for clothing and design in this city. So a combination of a lot of different things. We cobbled together what we think is a really interesting story, and it's really just the start of the story that we want to continue to tell this year and beyond.
And Mike, we know there's so many ways to talk about the history of Winston-Salem. Why do you think fashion is the best way to do that, or what kind of story are you trying to get across through these kinds of artifacts?
Yeah, I mean, it is a great way to tell the city's story, because fashion is one of those things that everybody has something to say about, and everybody has something to do with, whether it's a journalist writing about fashion or the owner of a dress shop in downtown Winston-Salem, or somebody from Winston-Salem who goes off to design fashion goods, or even just community volunteers who are involved in staging fashion shows as a fundraiser. There's so many different ways that folks' lives intersect with the world of fashion, that it becomes just a great vehicle for telling a complicated but super interesting story of Winston-Salem.
Yeah, I never thought about it this way too. You talk about something like weather. It affects us all in some way, and I guess fashion does in some level as well. I think it's a very interesting way to be able to tell a story of a community in a way that you might not think of off the top of your head. So you're debuting this during Fashion Week, but there are a few events this month that people can see this exhibit. Could you run through them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're bringing our pop-up exhibit to 4 different events during Fashion Week. The first one is at opening night, which is next Monday night at 7 p.m. at Robert Hall. That's the opening night sneaker ball. And then during Fashion Week itself, September 23rd, 29th, and 30th, we're going to be at an event at Roar on September 23rd. We're going to be at the Coal Pit at Bailey Power Plant on September 29th in the evening. And then on September 30th, we'll be at Sika for the designer runway shows. We'll be there all day. I would definitely tell everybody to go to Winston-Salem Fashion Week social media sites and websites to get all the latest about ticket information. Some of these events are ticketed, some are free, and so we want anybody who wants to see the exhibit to know what the best events to come out for.
Awesome. Mike, quickly before we go, most interesting thing that you've discovered throughout your research while curating this?
Yeah, gosh, there are so many, but I guess I would have to put two things at the top. One is learning about the city's first fashion journalist, who was a woman named Annie Lee Singletary, who was native to Winston-Salem. During the World War II period, she got her first newspaper job, and before long, she was the beat writer on the fashion beat, which was a growing part of newspaper journalism in the post-World War II period, and that's just been fascinating. And then the other person who I would mention is Mozella Roberts Holder, who is one of the very first high-profile African-American runway models in New York City.
Wow.
She had an amazing career throughout the 1960s into the early 1970s. She spent a part of her childhood here in Winston-Salem and then returned to live the final 24 years of her life here in Winston-Salem. And so this amazing story of a pioneering woman that we're really privileged to help bring to an audience with this exhibit.
This is very interesting.
It is.
Mike, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate you. And there are several chances, as you heard him mention, everyone at home, to catch Camel City Couture exhibit on display. Those dates and times and locations are on your screen now, but to see that full schedule of events or purchase your tickets, visit WSFashionWeek.com. We'll have more information on our website as well later on today.